Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're listening to this podcast from. We are live today at Ndere Centre where we are hosting the 6th gathering of givers under the theme Generosity that Serves, Stays and Sustains. And I have an amazing guest. We went to church together. I saw her raise her hands in holy adoration. And we've done lots of other things together. She's going to tell you her name and her first experience of generosity.
Thank you. My name is Dorothy. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Jackie, for having me. Well, I'll just talk about what I do. So I do fundraising at Uganda Christian University.
Before you tell us what you do, first your
Yes.
first experience of generosity.
Well,
The one that you can remember or one that stands out for you.
like someone extended generosity to me.
Mhm.
Does that work?
Yes.
Yes, so I grew up as an orphan, so ended up in an orphanage somewhere in Kabale, and I knew someone was paying little money to take care of my needs.
Mhm.
So I guess that's when the seed was sown for me now to extend generosity to others. Now that I'm older, yes, I think that's where it starts from.
Sorry, and you were going to tell us
Yes,
what you
so
do. Yes.
yeah, I remember when it was time to join university, I didn't have hope. People went to uni like a month into the semester. I was still at home. And a well-wisher, I should say, because they were not my relative, they just told me, go to school, we will see.
Wow.
And as it goes, the rest is history. Yes, so I know what it means to be at university and stuck. So when I had done, my undergrad degree, my postgrad in HR, God called me. I'm sure God called me into this ministry of generosity. So that's how I enter into this job and start, fundraising. Yes, so the first thing I did for the university was, during COVID, many staff were laid off. So I was still working as an HR specialist somewhere, but the vice chancellor called me and said, well, I am stuck with staff who were laid off and they need food. So can you come and we raise money and at least buy for them food hampers? That was December 2020, I remember. So we raised 50 million and bought food hampers for over, I think, 6,000 staff at the time. So from that, he was like, but you know what? I think you have a calling. I said, no, I don't think it's a calling, but it's a grace that I call people to support and they will support. So that's how he calls me and is like, well, I'm still stuck now with students who have lost, sponsorship, whose donors have died, their parents have lost livelihoods. So why don't you come and we raise money to support those? There were so many that were stuck, with tuition fees. So that's how I started in 2022.
Yeah.
Yes. So far we.
And what did you do when you say you started?
Yeah, so we
you talk
started-
about it like it's so then.
Yes. So we
you
started.
need to explain to people.
Yes. So I
what
went to
you
God.
did.
I was like, I don't have many ideas. I may have good ideas, but I need a God idea. So God gave me an idea. Can you find as many people as possible to give 10,000? So I launched a campaign for just 10K.
Wow.
Support a needy student at university. And with that campaign, in 2 years, we raised 200 million and supported over 100 students.
Wow.
So now I was like, it's a program. Now, there are always needy students, so we can't go. So now
Yes.
it's a full-time portfolio and now it's a program, and we call it the Omega Scholarship Fund. We essentially help students who are stuck at the tail end, maybe third year, fourth year, fifth year, depending on
the course they're
the course
taking.
that you're doing. Yes. So we raise money and help push those who are finishing.
Just over the line.
Yes, just over
that
the
critical
line.
line.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And I was just telling Jackie
Wow.
before the podcast started that this is my most emotional week. And last week when students actually come to my office and I have given away everything that I've collected.
Yes. This is exam week.
This is
And
exam
students
week.
can't sit exams
without paying zero balance.
Yeah.
Because the university also has to run. They have bills.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I do all the time. I'm always thinking, what do I need to do? So, for example, we've done so many projects with Jackie. One was a birthday fundraiser. Everybody born in March come together, raised money and supported the same campaign. We've also done the Coffee and Paint project. You come we give you a canvas, you paint whatever you want, of course, guided painting, and we raise money. So I'm always thinking about what's the next project. So
Yes.
now
and you told me there's one that's
now I have
coming.
an opportunity. Yes, we
Yes.
have an annual tuition run coming up on 18th of October. So we're looking for people to support, sponsors, and alumni and everybody.
So
Yes.
do we come to UCU in
Yes, we
Mukono
come to UCU,
run?
but also it's global. Everyone is going to run from wherever
so it's a
they are.
virtual run as
Yes,
well.
it's a virtual run as
Okay,
well.
okay.
Yes.
And is there a fee?
Yes, we're going to be selling our kits at 35,000.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
so we can get the kit to you
Yeah.
somehow. Yeah, if
And,
you're
and
in
for those
Uganda.
that have never organized runs,
Yes.
so yes, we buy the kits at 35. The assumption sometimes is that the whole 35 goes to the student, but is that so? Because I know that there are overheads, there are, all
Well,
these organized. So how much of it actually goes to the student in the end?
Well, so here is what we think, that if we get sponsors, for
Mhm,
example, and then the
mhm.
sponsors buy the kits. So a very good kit, you need it at 50,000 shillings in the Ugandan context. But we know students cannot afford
A kit at
a
50,000.
kit at 50,000
Yes.
or the staff or, community. We know how the economy is.
Yes.
So we get sponsors who actually get to subsidize the price. Yeah, so if they
Understood.
buy at 25, probably, at the end of the day, we are still putting 25
Yes,
in the bag
towards
for the
tuition.
students.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And what keeps you going in doing this work? Because again, it's very easy to think that generous people are just generally happy and we have energy but whoosh. So what
No.
keeps you going, Dorothy?
What keeps me going is the fact that, God has put me in this space. I mean, it's God. I can't say anything. It's God, because I can't say I don't have needs. I do have needs. I have so much responsibility. And sometimes I'm like, you need to go out there and get a job and earn.
Yes.
We joke that the job I do is glorified beggar, but essentially they are saying you're begging to put, into someone's other hand. But
yes.
again, that you can go somewhere with your qualifications and get a job. But like I said, I was in this job, but I was not happy. Every day waking up and pushing yourself. But then now the joy that comes with, someone's success is because you've put in not so much, little effort. Just like, reach out to a company, reach out to, do an activity that is going to bring money. And it's not a lot. Sometimes what we give students is like 1 million shillings, but that's all they need at that point to get to the next level.
And for them, it's a lot.
Yes, of
at
course.
That point.
Of course, when they come, they're in tears.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to cancel them. I have to pray for them. And I'll tell them, let's believe God. Yes.
Oh.
Of course, what destabilizes sometimes is when someone comes at the real end, like I did 2 exams. But sometimes a student will know that at home, things are really bad. My dad is sick. So when she comes at the beginning of the semester, we have a plan. So I'll tell her, okay, so your balance is 3 million. Can you raise 2? Then I'll give you the 1. That. So we at least know what we are working with. We have a plan. Yes.
And finally, as we end the podcast today, the theme is generosity that serves, stays, and sustains. I don't know which of those S's stand out for you and why.
Sustains. I think I would look at it from the point of the person you help will never forget. You might give somebody and it ends
and
there.
Go on. Yeah.
I meet people. I mean, some of the people I help, some of the students, I don't remember. So I meet them on the street. They're like, Madam. They even call me Madam. I'm shy sometimes, but they're like, I was almost giving up.
Wow.
You gave me hope.
Wow.
So I believe that has stayed with them.
Yes.
And that encourages that you do not know who you're helping, and the world is round. You do not know when you will need the help, and it comes back. Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't come back the way you expect it.
Absolutely.
But as a Christian, you don't know what God has done for you because you're in this space. Maybe He's given you the good health. You don't know. So you give and know that God takes record.
Takes care of you.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dorothy, thank you so much. Thank you
for having me.
Being there, standing in that gap. It's a very big gap.
It's a C.
It is a C.
Yeah.
But thank you for helping students cross that C.
I'm grateful.
By raising money that helps them to finish school.
I'm grateful to God for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Listeners, thank you for joining us today at the 6th edition of the Gathering of Givers, where we're talking about generosity that serves, stays, and sustains.